if I look at the headlines you're showing, they seem to insinuate that the woman's gonna be homeless. All the pictures they're showing about the woman and the kids seems like they're already on the streets.
Kevin Costner's estranged wife remains at their 145 million coastal California compound as she refuses to leave following divorce filing in violation of the prenup, as inspectors seen on scene. RJ,
Yes.
can someone refuse to leave even though it's been agreed upon before in the prenup? Can
Uh,
you just walk in and push them out?
yeah. Well, yes, because in a sense, okay, so let me start by saying that I am not a family law, US family law expert. So, what would be perfect to answer this question, KR? The lead attorney, man. This
Mm.
is right up his alley. But to
Well,
answer
we
your
have you to turn it on the one button. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
no, man, but what I can say is this: when you have a prenup, it's basically an agreement, and the rule is basically just the rule. You have to fulfill your obligations laid down in an agreement. So if you put in an agreement that you have to do something, then you have to do it. The law does always have certain exceptions. For example, if an agreement is against the law,
Mm.
for example, uh, if there is a minimum wage to be paid, and you agree with an employee that you will pay the employee less than a minimum wage, then that agreement is null and void because it's the agreement that is
A
not
violation of
yeah.
the.
But there are certain laws and regulations where you are allowed to deviate. So there are certain laws who are certain rules that are certain rules of law that are fixed, binding. It is what it is. And there are other who are, let's say, they have a more regulatory nature. So you are allowed to deviate by means of a contract, for example. And a prenup, that's basically what it is. The philosophy is that the 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 parties have an agreement. They willingly and out of their free will agreed to certain terms and conditions in their prenup, and you have to comply. So if she's not complying, Kevin Costner can take judicial matters.
Mm.
I don't know if you would have to go to court first to get a verdict and then evict her or get her off the property. But
But
yeah,
what you shouldn't do is take matters in your own hands.
that's for sure. That's for
Okay.
sure. That's for
That's
sure.
one
What
thing
you
you forgot to say.
yeah.
Don't walk in with a sick and try to get them out. Guys, protect yourself. Anyway, so it started already very weird, the whole thing, because she refused to leave. Then what happened? Her ex says he is trying to make their children homeless by kicking them out of their house. As the actor insists, it's not healthy for the pair to be sharing a space in the $145 million home. Then another article was released where friends are saying he's trying to humiliate her and is out for revenge against Christine, that's the wife, Baumgarten after her divorce filing. And now she worries the Yellowstone star will have police escort her out of the house. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You break the agreement, and then I'm trying to.
Well,
But yeah.
it's better to be escorted out than thrown out, right? And again, that argument sounds like a very emotional argument. What did parties agree to? If parties agreed that in the event of a filing, in the event of a divorce, the woman would need to get out, or whatever, the party who does X or Y would need to get out, and it happens, then that person needs to get out. You cannot, I mean, it's very emotional. It's a very emotional argument, but you can't call someone, you can call someone
Out.
out for enforcing what parties agreed to.
You've signed it.
You signed it, yeah, you signed it. So yeah.
But that's not only it. According to Daily Mail, Costner owns multiple houses. So they are sharing a bit of the, let's call it the real estate portfolio of Kevin Costner. According to them, he also owns a Aspen Ranch, which has 12 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a baseball field, and a 24/7 caretakers. And 24/7 caretakers. And that is in addition to the marital home in California. Friends jumped to her defense, saying she's not a gold digger. This isn't about the money. Kevin Costner's estranged wife wants to keep things normal for the kids and insists she was never home anyway. He was never home anyway. He's lashing out because she ended the marriage. Was she trying to finesse Kevin out of a 145 million home
I
by
think
not leaving, or
I
trying to
think
put pressure on the initial agreement? So they basically, you sign the agreement and you want to after the fact, you want to rearrange the agreement.
yeah. I think what she did was she decided to divorce. This is what I believe. I have no information, but what it seems like is that she decided. So she made an emotional decision to separate, and did not check with perhaps the lawyers first what that decision would mean. A lot of people,
Hmm.
they get married because of the emotional symbol that it has, right?
Hmm.
Some people do it for the spiritual.
Some people do
Some
it for
people
the
do it
money.
for the money. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said it right before you. Sorry, I interrupted. You had a pretty good monologue, but let's continue.
Some people do it for the money.
I thought you were going to forget that one, but
I can't
some
forget.
people do it for
I
the
was,
clouds.
no, no, I didn't have that in mind when I started, but I
How
always,
can you not have that in mind, man?
I always try to do like three, right?
Three,
So
yeah.
three
It
things
could be
always.
five in this case.
Well, three or five, yeah. But in this case, but yeah, but there are a lot of reasons. But a lot of people, they only look at the wedding. So let's say
Surface.
the not the legal. It's not a contract, but let's call it a contract, a legal contract
Legal
between the
contract.
man and the woman,
Mhm.
that they are married. Almost always they forget. Well, they don't forget necessarily about the kids, because when you have kids, you know, okay, you have obligations towards the kid. But it seems like, let's say, the most So those are mostly emotional aspects, but most people forget the financial aspect, and they make the emotional decision based on their dissatisfaction, their emotional dissatisfaction, but they never think to go to check with lawyers what the financial consequences would be. If I look at the headlines you're showing, they seem to insinuate that the woman's gonna be homeless. All the pictures they're showing about the woman and the kids seems like they're already on the streets. But what you're saying now is that there are more assets, more houses, and not just like duplexes, like luxurious.
This is the house that they would have been she would have been evicted from.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
I would think 80% of people love love to be living in a house like that.
Even the garden is better than some people's houses. But